Hello everybody, I hope your day is going well. My name's Amanda and this is video 5 of the Writing for Everyday Life series. Regardless of where you are in your career, it's imperative to build and maintain a network by leaving good impressions on the people you encounter. In this age of technology, an email is often the first point of contact. Thus, it's important to know how to write emails and how to write them well. In the last video, we covered the unwritten do's and don'ts of writing emails. I'd encourage you to check it out if you haven't yet. On the other hand, the purpose of this video is to provide you with some real, tangible, meat and potato examples of what to say in your email beyond the initial greeting. The information I share here may seem like common sense to some, but it took me time and experience to understand the nuances of what to say and where to say it. And I'm still learning. This video is the guiding manual for navigating the tricky world of emails that I wish my younger self had. Now, before we jump into the examples, please remember that no email is the same. Every email is written in a unique context and has unique contents, and both the context and contents dictate how to best write the email. With this in mind, I've prepared a variety of examples for you all today, but please do note that the tips I share here reflect what I've personally found to work. No, they are not rules written in stone. With no further ado, let's get started. The first category of examples is what I call formal phrases. These include, I am writing in hopes of, I hope this email finds you well, and I am writing to inquire about. Use these in the following situations. 1. When reaching out to someone you don't know for the first time. 2. When reaching out to someone after a long period of time. And 3. When asking for information about something like a post-secondary program, eligibility for a scholarship, and whether or not a volunteer position is still open. For instance, it might be appropriate to say, Dear Miss Smith, I'm writing in hopes of getting in touch about job posting X. Or, Hi Dr. Lee, I hope this email finds you well. I am writing to inquire about. Notice that the lines aren't firmly drawn here. You can use these phrases in combination. I find that prefacing your email with, I hope this email finds you well, sounds a bit more warm and personable. However, this is a matter of personal preference, and some people find it a bit excessive. When the situation calls for it, these phrases are excellent ways to start an email. However, as I mentioned in the previous video, they must be used with caution. In many situations, they can come off as too formal and a bit awkward. The question then is, what should you say instead? That brings us to our next category of examples, which is the less formal phrases. I hesitate to call them informal because they're not quite at that level. However, they are a notch down from the formal examples. These less formal email starters include things along the lines of I am wondering if, would it be possible to, is it possible to, could you do me a favor and, could you please, would you mind, and so on. Ultimately, starters like these are appropriate when you know the person reasonably well, but still want to be polite and courteous. More specifically, here are some examples of situations where they are appropriate. when emailing someone you see on a relatively frequent basis, when emailing someone you've already been in email correspondence with, and when emailing someone you know relatively well or who you have a working relationship with. For example, you might say to your boss, "Hi Lisa, I am wondering if it is possible to take the next Saturday off." Or you might say to a colleague, "Hi Jack, would you mind helping me out with task X?" These less formal phrases can be used with a bit less caution than the formal ones, and they work in many more situations. However, there are times when you want to be even less formal, and that brings us to our last category of the day. That would be our casual phrases. I've listed some of the phrases here, but there are many more possibilities. As you can see, these casual phrases are mostly responses, meaning that they're used when you've been emailing someone quite a lot and know the person pretty well. Sometimes these phrases can even be used without an initial greeting. For instance, rather than saying, "Hi Miss Franklin, sounds good," you could simply write, "Sounds good." So, how exactly do you know when it's okay to be this casual? In my experience, the best indication is when the other person has already started using casual language. Additionally, it's true that being too formal is safe in some situations, but I would say that emails are not one of them. If the other person has already reverted to casual language, but you keep responding with an increased degree of formality, you might be sending the wrong message to the person you're emailing. As a side note, if you're planning on asking additional questions after the response, it may be best to keep the response short. Speaking from personal experience, if people read a thank you, they don't always read the rest of your email. So, to avoid having your question go unanswered, use a shorter response phrase and quickly transition into the question. Well folks, it looks like we've reached the end of this video. I know that this type of material can be a bit dry, but I really do think it's important to know. So I hope that you were able to learn something, and I'm looking forward to seeing you soon. Goodbye for now.